Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and welcome back to my channel, Stubbornly Bookish. Today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag, which was originally created by Ariel Bissett. This is a tag video that I revisit every year. I've actually done this twice previously, and I just think it's a great way to check in with my goals and kind of reevaluate everything for the last few months of the year. Also slightly panicked that there are so few months left in the year. There's a lot of things I want to read, but I have to be realistic about it, and this tag is great for that. So let's just jump into it. The first question asks, is there a book that you put down that you would like to get to by the end of the year? And I actually have two books for this. The first one is Everything Leads to You by Celeste Ng. This is an adult sort of literary fiction mystery-ish kind of book. I don't know what happened. I think I just sort of unintentionally set it aside. But I do want to finish this. I was enjoying what I had read, and I really want to see why everyone loves this book so much. Celeste Ng is incredibly popular. So yeah, I want to get to this. It's very short, so I should be able to finish it by the end of the year. Here's hoping. The next book I would like to finish is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. I started listening to the audiobook very early on this year, and I just wasn't enjoying it. I found the narrator's voice to be incredibly whiny, and it really started grating on my nerves, to which I was not enjoying the story at all. And if I had finished it then, I probably would have given it 1 star. So I decided to put it down, and then I managed to find the 2 sequels really cheap, so I picked them up and I decided, you know what, we'll finish them in their print form. The final movie should be released sometime by the end of this year, so I want to get these read so I don't have to panic do it before the movie is released. So this should be read sooner rather than later, hopefully. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition to fall? And I only just considered that this might be asking a book that you plan on reading and not a recommendation for someone else for a fall read. Currently, I'm in the mood for high fantasy almost exclusively, so that kind of goes out the window. A book I would recommend, though, is Sockhill Girls by Claire Legrand. This follows 3 girls on a remote island where this like paranormal creature is like killing girls, and girls are going missing. It's got quite a few things that tick my boxes off for an atmospheric, spooky, kind of creepy read, which I think is just perfect for fall, so I'd give this recommendation. Question 3 asks, is there a new release that you are still waiting for? And I definitely am waiting on Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, but I've been trying to temper my expectations because I've seen a lot of really mixed reviews recently. This is Leigh Bardugo's first iteration into adult fiction, and it takes on secret societies within Ivy League schools, so I'm interested in it. I've already pre-ordered this, so when it comes, I really think I will read this by the end of the year. Question 4 asks you to list 3 books you definitely want to read by the end of the year. The first one I'm set on is The Gilded Blows by Roshni Chokshi. This is a heist novel that takes place, I believe, in the early 1700s or 1800s France, and it follows a found family, and basically it just checks off all my boxes that I want from a young adult fantasy. I can't wait to read this. I've read 2 of Roshni's previous books and haven't loved either of them, but I think this one might just do it. The next book I'm absolutely determined to get to is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This book I also maybe mentioned in my tag from last year that I was so set on getting to, and I just couldn't swing it. I read so much in the last few months of the year, but I could not get to Vicious, and I've now just like hyped it up so much in my head that I'm really nervous to get to it, and that's why I have not picked it up in the first 8 months of this year. The last book I definitely want to get to is In an Absent Dream by Shauna Maguire. I just really want to get caught up in this series because I know the 5th book will be coming out early 2020, and I would like to finally be caught up and not be constantly lagging behind in this series. And it's really short, which I think will help motivate me to actually get to it because I have some big books that I also want to get to. Question 5 asks, is there a book that you think could still surprise you and become your favorite of the year. Now, I'm not going to choose what I said last year, which was vicious, by the way. I'm going to select The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty, which I actually have on its way to me currently. This has the possibility of being my favorite of the year simply because The City of Brass is basically one of my favorites already, and this is the sequel to it. I'm so excited to get to it. I'm glad I finally purchased it. I just have to get my City of Brass review up first, and then I get to dive into The Kingdom of Copper, and I'm so excited for it. And the final question I really like, and it asks, have you started making any plans for your reading in 2020? And I definitely have. I've been kind of reflecting lately on the plans that I set myself for 2019 and how I kind of set myself up for failure. A lot of my goals that I set this year, I kind of listed them and then kind of forgot or didn't really care if I missed them. Some of the things I have already been successful at, but I know I definitely just whipped out that I'd like to read 8 middle grades and like 4 classics, and they weren't something that I really had my heart set on, so I didn't really end up doing them. I definitely need to start finishing up some series, especially when I have like whole series on my shelves that haven't been finished. That is like abysmal to me. And I also have some maybe tentative plans to get that TBR down because it has slowly been making me more and more anxious. I have at least 300 unread books on my shelves, and it's really been bothering me lately. And I know it's going to be a task that takes me years to finish, but I would like to kind of set some things into motion and really maybe restrict / change some book buying habits. So that is it for the end of the year book tag. I will have Ariel's original video linked down below. Let me know down in the comments below 3 of the books that you want to get read by the end of the year, and maybe what you're going to do to keep yourself accountable, because someone needs to be held accountable and I could use some tips. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!